It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Tokpe Mark Odige, and with me, as usual, are my co-hosts. We have you've came from
what
PJ,
a way to open the house,
and you flew into the weekday. But it's good to have you here. So that they can know you went to school.
Thank you for having me. PJ people went to school.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't know that you.
Why would you think that?
Give it to them.
Some of the
Broadcast
most
English.
proficient, some of the most elitist people that you know are
very fluent in
connoisseurs of pigeons.
Yes,
tell them. My school is yes. But really, I'm happy to be here. You know, I just know for a fact that if my daughter is watching now, she's going to say, "Mommy, I'm rocking her dress."
Wow.
Every time she goes into my closet, I literally want to strangle her. I say, "Don't take anything without asking me."
And now
so now
you
she'll
are
be
doing
giving me the side eye, like, you went to my closet because I'm not around and you took my stuff. Just because you and I wear the same size. But
Such a
I think
beautiful
it's truly
experience.
blessed. I was just filming a short content this morning and I was talking about how some of the best decisions of our lives have been made through fear, in spite of fear. And that took me back to when I was 19 and I had her. And I didn't know what I was going to do. Many people said to me, "Chika, you can't do this."
And here you are.
And here you are.
So happy.
So wearing my daughter's dress. It's a full circle moment, and I'm just, blessed, counting my blessings. Africa is also in the news for all the right reasons, and it's got me super excited. Look at what Ibrahim Traore is doing with education and healthcare. The Namibian president, and she's doing fantastic with the economy and ensuring that the mineral reserves stay in the country. Ghana is in the news for their currency.
Ghana's currency is doing so well. You guys have
outperformed the dollar in 5 years. It's exciting, and I hope that everything all this good news trickles down to Nigeria.
Come home.
Yes, that's just it.
We need good news in this country. But I'm happy to be here.
You know, Ghana, they celebrated electricity some years back. They have 24 hours for electricity.
All the good things.
Yeah. Wow.
Are you just, what's that supposed to mean?
It's a slide
now, so they are moving forward.
Jackpot to
Ghana.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I drove around Lagos yesterday. My shoulder
What are you
now.
looking for?
In fact, I was just going around places looking for things, but man, my shoulder. Right now, can you see shoulder?
I
don't think I have shoulder.
Wait, the shoulder in the room with us.
Gone.
I like how you say it.
There's nothing here because the pain. I was like, is it like this? Is it different?
You did all the styles.
Inside traffic.
Inside
traffic.
Well
but
done.
thank God. I'm doing well.
We give God all the praise.
Mary?
So from the shirt
Oh my
to
goodness.
Thank you. So it's Christmas. It's World Environment Day today, and so it's Christmas to people like
I was
us
surprised.
who advocate for the environment. So World Environment Day. And the theme for this year is, stop plastic pollution, beat plastic pollution. So it's just about plastic pollution. So today I would like to highlight 2 schools, Gleam Star Schools, and I told them I was going to be saying this, and the Great Prestige School. It took the time. I'd spoken about Gleam Star School earlier in the month, I think, or last month. They had come together as a school to clean their community. I have pictures that I put on social media. And then they had another, like the younger kids, created a vulture from plastic.
Wow.
I was so moved.
They've taken your lesson to
greater heights. My head is hot. I'm so proud of them. I'm so moved. Like when I saw the pictures, like that one brought me to tears. And then the Great Prestige School as well. They've just created a model of an airplane from plastic, and they've sent me pictures. Thank you. Because today they are making model planes. Tomorrow they'll make real planes, and they'll learn also how to recycle plastic to come up with amazing things that can be functional and aesthetically, functional. So I'm really pleased that one conversation one day and see the impact on so many people, so many schools, so many communities. So happy World Environment Day, everyone.
Pick up the plastics around you. Reduce use of one-time use plastics. I hear that there's a word they use, single-use plastic. Reduce the use of single-use plastic and focus on everything that you can be reusing over and recycle over and over again. But I am recruiting. And I want someone young. I want to get 2 people to work with me that are between 18 to 25. I'm not hung up on educational qualifications. I just want people that are smart and you just send me your email, send me your CV, your pitch via email to my full name, tokpemakodige@gmail.com. That's my email address. So send your CV. Because I feel like a lot of times young people that look for opportunity and there's room for growth, and me, I will stretch anybody that works with me. Your brain will do like this. But you will like yourself a year, 2 times. People will be around you, be shocked at how well you've grown. So,
what's the position for?
You're working with me personally, personal assistant with me. Yes, personal assistant.
Also, it's just one position.
Yes, but 2 people will do it. To work with me, you need 2 people to do the job of my play. No. 1 person can't do it. I need 2 people because we're going to split some things to increase productivity. But I'm looking forward to what we'll come up with. BC did not say something good about recruitment yesterday. She said she's been trying to recruit, and the people will send CV that looks very glossy, and you talk to them, they can't deliver. I don't need your CV. You need to be able to deliver. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We'll start the front page review with The Nation. Major headline: Tinubu vows to rebuild, restore, flood-hit Mokwa. Let me just give you the tragedy in figures. The death toll hit 208. Missing people currently 84. 13,354 people were affected by this flood. 186 were injured. 4,534 displaced, 265 houses damaged, 2 roads, 5 bridges damaged. This is really bad. So put the people of Mokwa in your prayers. Some people don't know how bad it was. Moving on to other stories. Why I visited President by Bakari. I desire a great nation. PDP, our focus is unity of members, not coalition. South should rally around Akpabio, says Omokri. Oando deepens upstream investment with $375 million deal. So what story are we starting with?
All right, just to touchlight the story more concerning the Mokwa flooding. We will rebuild, we will restore the vibrancy for which Mokwa is known. This was the message of hope, and the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, shared with the people of Mokwa, who have lost over 207 of their loved ones, and hundreds of houses have been swept away by this sad flooding. He has also announced 2 billion naira for the reconstruction of the affected communities and directed that 20 trucks of loaded grains be dispatched to the actual victims of the disaster. He has also ordered the Environment Minister, Balarabim Lawal, to relocate to the state to ensure the immediate intervention under the ACRISOL, which is Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes Drainage Project in Mokwa Town. Now, the distribution of the food items to the victims is to be done in collaboration with the village head, Mohammed Shaba. Now, the state government currently has put the death toll at 208, with 84 people missing. And they have also reported that 13,354 people have been impacted by the flood. Now, addressing the people, the vice president has said that they are currently trying to swing into immediate action to assess the damage and to provide necessary support to aid recovery. He also described Mokwa as a town of national significance whose loss is felt far beyond Niger State. He says that Mokwa has always stood as a vital crossroads in Nigeria's geography and commerce, and so this makes their pain a shared national burden. He has also, the governor of the state has appealed, however, for the rehabilitation of the Jaba-Mokwa-Bida road to ease transportation challenges. This is in no small measure such a disastrous event.
Very bad.
And I like the fact that the presidency has also issued statements to the fact that beyond tackling the fallout of this flooding, they're also going to look into measures that can mitigate the reoccurrences of disasters like this. To what end these measures will be very proactive in enforcement, I do not know, but my heart really goes out to these people. And
yeah, so I have the story of why Bakari, he said why he visited the president. They said the founder of the Citadel Global Community Church, Pastor Dunde Bakari, visited the president at his private residence in Ikoyi. He said he went there and he said he desires to see a country that works in his lifetime. According to him, he shared with the president his personal vision for a Nigeria that works for all its citizens. And he said, and I quote, "My vision is to see a nation that works, and those things, all the things I've discussed with Mr. President, they are not hidden things." And then, of course, they said some of the substance of their conversation will remain private. And they said said why he visited, and some of the reasons why he visited they didn't disclose them much. But he said, "In my life, I have learned that when you discuss with person in charge, you leave it to him to do whatsoever he wills with what you have suggested." So he said, "I am glad that he received me well. I trust that God will help our nation."
I love the idea of working together. You can't say, there's nothing wrong with anybody visiting the president. It doesn't have to be anything negative. It could just be about, like he said, a great nation would come from everybody working together. But you have...
Yeah, I do. So the PDP yesterday reiterated its objection to the coalition talks being spearheaded by the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar. As we know, he was the 2023 presidential candidate for PDP. So the National Publicity Secretary, Ebot Ologunagba, while speaking with reporters at the PDP Secretariat in Abuja, says that they said he fired salvos at APC, saying that the defections to the ruling party would not save them from defeat in 2027. So shots fired. And then he said that, and then we also have the PDP Reconciliation Panel Chairman, Senator Bukola Saraki. He described the opposition party as a viable platform. He predicted that the party will bounce back in Kwara State in 2027, urging chieftains to gird their loins. As we know, those who have been talking about this coalition mentioned former Minister Transportation Rotimi Amechi, former Kaduna State Governor, and a few others. And they had converged. PDP governors had converged in Ibadan, and they disowned these coalition talks. They said that that instead of talking about the coalition, all those who are talking about coalition should just join the PDP instead, and then do work together to wrest power from the APC. They say that right now PDP's main focus is not about coalition, it's about the unity of the party. It's important for Nigeria to have a conversation about how to get this APC out of government. And also they're saying that they've always been big on the Constitution and the right way to do things, and that is what they're focusing on, and they are not really backing Atiku Abubakar on his conversations around coalition.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the front page review. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Yeah, that's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show. Give Adala.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym to get fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person I used to sus? What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam! Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. TVC Entertainment for Pure Entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're still reviewing the front pages of the papers, particularly moving on to the Punch. Major headline, VIP's lobby presidency as federal government grounds 60 private jets. The custom sales of aircraft hangars in Lagos, Abuja airport over import duty default. Salah, Mokwa bridge collapse feels tomato pepper price surge. Ram prices soar by 55% as inflation bites harder. And Wike is working. He's shown you what he has done with the front page. All right. Thankfully, Wike didn't put his picture alone. I was so happy to see the picture of Dr. Maria Mohammed. Maria Mohammed, the Honorable Minister of State for FCT, because we always talk about the Minister for FCT, Wike, without knowing there's also a Minister for State for FCT, and they are both working hand in hand. So this picture of projects showcases both of them. So let's not just say, oh, Wike is working.
It's a team effort.
It's team effort. Dr. Maria Mohammed is working. All right.
Okay, so I have the story of Rams, you know, Salah, the Ilea is coming.
Yeah, so it's very relevant to you.
Honestly.
Because we're waiting for...
Yeah, but Nigerians are complaining.
The consumers, the later consumers.
Yes. So my mom even actually, she complained yesterday. She was like, there are so many Rams all around the place, but they are so expensive, especially in the north there. So they are saying that as Nigerians gear up for the Eid al-Kabir celebration, ram traders in the Ibafor, Kara and Agege markets of Ogun, Lagos State on Wednesday lamented low patronage, blaming it on the rising cost of the economic downturn. They said that sourcing the rams from the northern parts of the country had skyrocketed and also has contributed to the costs that they are selling. That before, the rams were sold from 150,000 to 180,000, but now they are going for 250,000 to 280,000. That means it translates to 55.5% increase. It's also said that another thing that contributed to this cost is the cost of transportation from the north to the west. He said usually the abattoir is supposed to be crowded by now, which is Tuesday, but Salah is on Friday, but people are not coming to buy rams because of the high cost. So if you guys have heard, the ram is expensive. It's too expensive. Nobody should come.
Yeah?
There's no ram.
I don't understand. You're a clown.
Ram is expensive.
I have the story on the federal government grounding 60 private jets. We're now hearing that because in a bid to recover import duties from some private jet owners in the country, the federal government, through the Nigeria Customs Service, has grounded about 60 private jets across major airports in Nigeria. It was gathered that private jet hangars in Lagos and Abuja airports have been sealed up. However, owners of the aircraft, including bank chiefs and multinational oil companies, amongst other individuals, have now started to lobby the presidency to secure the release of their jets.
They should pay our money.
There are reports that the duties are not being paid on the majority of private jets that are currently in the country. It's running into several billions of naira. The customs had previously asked private jet owners to proceed on a verification exercise with the government so that they could determine who the defaulters were in the payment of import duty. But all of these pleas fell on deaf ears, and so this move has now been made. We are in need of money. The country is in need of money. We cannot afford to.
Don't worry, when I buy my own private jet, I will pay the duties.
as at when due.
I will pay the duties. So if you buy your own, pay your duties. It's not beef. Because even me, I'm aspiring to buy.
Because to fly private jet, you must count the cost.
EFCC has arraigned 2 Chinese nationals, Zhang Honglin and Gao Peihai, before the Federal High Court in Lagos on charges of alleged illegal mining and possession of mineral resources. They are facing 5 counts bordering on conspiracy, illegal mining, and unlawful possession of mineral resources, including lithium and copper. Lin and Hai were arraigned on Wednesday before the court alongside another Chinese national, Gao Peiyu. I like that I'm saying these names. But he is currently at large. I mean, imagine being currently at large in a foreign country. Or he has gone back to his country, let's see. Anyway, the EFCC's prosecution alleged that the defendants, there are also some Nigerian names that were called alongside those Chinese nationals, and they allege that the defendants conspired to defraud the federal government by engaging in illegal mining, exploitation of mineral resources without the required authorization. And the court and EFCC says that the offences were committed in May, so that was just last month, and so then before the court, so we'll see how the
judgment
how it goes. But for me, I always say there's no how this can happen without
some in-house people,
without
backing
those who are supposed to be protecting these resources
for the interest of the country.
Moving now to Daily Sun. If it's going to work, all of us would have to work with it to make it work. Tension rises as 32 states. Tension rises in 32 states over flooding forecast. These states include Kano, Jigawa, Lagos, Delta, Enugu, Edo, Ondo, Imo, others in talks with NEMA to avert disaster. This while federal government has approved 2 billion to settle Mokwa flood victims. In other news, Tinubu okays commissioning of 17 major projects in Abuja, which you can see. It's part of the front page. Shadow Cabinet, DSS asks courts to stop the Tommy CSO proposed rally. Zenith Bank shines as Global Finance Best Bank Awards 2025, emerges best bank in Nigeria. All right, so what story are we going to?
Okay, so I have tension in 32 states. This on the back of the death toll that we have been that's happened in Mokwa. Just the story you just read. They said there's apprehension as residents of the FCT and some other states have been named to be high risk for flooding. That the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency is warning that 1,249 communities are across 176 local government areas in 33 states and the FCT were within the high flood risk area. Some of the states that were mentioned, 33 states, so all the states, and they're talking about an additional 2,187 communities, across 31 states, all expected to experience moderate flood risk this year. So, for me, that's one. The report goes on to talk about Mokwa, but NEMA has organized a 2-day technical meeting to analyze the disaster risk management of seasonal climate prediction and annual flood outlook. And I hope that this means that, we're going to find ways to prevent the sort of impact the flood has caused in places like Mokwa. And for me, these particular stories, we read them every year. And this is what we just do. We just send out alerts. The rains are going to fall, there will be flood.
Only to experience the same thing again next year.
Experience it next year. We've just never heard of things that were done years before, a year before, to stop.
To manage it.
Yes, to manage it, and they will see.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the projects. I like the fact that Nyesom Wike is always in the papers, and he's always in the papers. He's doing both, and also doing very well.
As well as Dr. Maria Momo.
So they said the federal capital, that's Nyesom Wike, has announced that President Bola Tinubu has approved the commissioning of series of key infrastructure projects in Abuja. He said this at an international conference. He said the president will personally commission 10 projects. Then the vice president will represent the president to commission 3 projects, the senior president 2 projects, and the speaker of the House of Rep 2 projects. In total, 17 projects will be commissioned due to time and logistical considerations. He said that with the kind of support we have from Mr. President, we are happy that all the promises we made have been accomplished. He said, look at the reaction from the people. Their joy tells you everything. If the people are happy, we are also happy. We give God Almighty the glory and thank Mr. President for all this support, all his support. And truly, almost Abuja residents are really commending him. That our famous guy of that of yesterday that we talked about, the Serikin Muta, was saying that there are some places in Abuja, one Gishiri local government or something, that if you go there, they have very good roads.
Yeah.
So well done, Mr. Wike.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review for today. We'll take a break. When we return, we move on to our next segment of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer,
you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
This is. That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person I used to say? What's his name?
That woman.
Damn!
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up now.
And don't been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. TVC Entertainment for pure entertainment. Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Joining us in the studio to take us through an impactful journey of our noble foundation and how they've been able to empower women in the society is the founder of Women of Might, Beverly Okegene. She's also one of us. Okegene. Yeah, she's one of us. Welcome to the show, Blessing.
Thank you so much.
First time.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here today. It's such a privilege.
All right, you can join the conversation by calling us on 020-1635-2013 or tweet to us. Now, what exactly is Women of Might about?
Women of Might is a non-governmental organization. So what we do is to help women build capacity in the area of growth and wellness, because this is the 2 major things women are having as a challenge. So we know that when a woman is happy, the home is happy, the society is happy. So now we're giving all it takes to make that happen, and that's the area of skills. So currently, as I'm speaking to you, we have close to 500 women virtually who have learned the skill, because we're empowering women this year on our 2nd anniversary. So we are going to be having the skill, the physical training by June 12th, which is next week, Thursday. Then by June 28th, it's going to be a display of what they've learned.
Okay, so what specifically would they be learning that and will be displayed?
Thank you so much. So our focus majorly is for stay-at-home mothers.
Okay.
You know, it can be mentally depressed when you're in the state of nothing to do, and the society is demanding so much for the spouses. So it's now for us to encourage these women and say, you know what, these common skills you are aware of, which is the vocational skills of makeup, soap making, perfume making, tie and dye, we're going to educate you on these skills. We have trainers right now who are partnering with us, thank God. And we also have Ikosi Sherry partnering with us. They're giving us a space.
Wow.
So yes, thanks so much to the chairman. So we have them, and we have that's going to be happening next week, Thursday. So that's just it. So we're starting from the foundation, because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is that on the 28th of June, by God's willing, we get helpers. We're going to give these women money to start up business from the skill. That's the future. So, and we look forward to having this done quarterly, because we intend to have our own space where women can feel, even in spite of all, I can come here to learn something.
True. So great to know that you're really impacting women.
Thank you so much.
From your understanding, what would you say is the greatest or the biggest inhibition for women when it comes to capacity building, when we talk about wellness and growth, especially in Nigeria. What would you say are the greatest challenges that women face in that regard?
I think it all starts from you.
Okay.
Your ability to believe that you can push. I'm here because I believe I have a voice. So even when you have what it takes, how do you position to be seen and heard? You know, a lot of times we celebrate International Women's Day. I think majorly people don't talk about what is the major issue. A lot of women struggle with imposter syndrome. Ability to say, okay, I think I have what it takes. Because it's not about wearing the shoe, it's able to deliver when you have the opportunity to.
Yes.
So it all starts from you, breaking that barrier of, I cannot, I can do it.
The can-do
spirit.
spirit.
When you make up room together, I share you are going to be on the show.
It's
These are behind the scenes secrets.
That kind of.
So these women, how do you source them? Like the women that you guys train, do you also reach the women in the rural areas? How do you get them on board?
Yes, that's our focus. So last year we went through wellness. Went to Mowe Bafo, we educated pregnant women. We also partner with healthcare service to render them things they should use to take care of themselves. So we are more about those women who don't even know what they are all about. Because I tell people, God created you for a purpose. You cannot fulfill your purpose when you don't have what it takes. You can't even define what you have. So those are our focus. Those women who feel like I am nothing but to stay in the kitchen, have children. I have a lot of skills I've learned. Like I can do so much for myself. And that helps you build confidence that you are able to. And when you're given the opportunity, you show for it and win.
Well done.
Honestly, this is an amazing initiative. So the question will be, how have you, because I know you, and I know your daddy is not Dangote. How have you been able to fund this passion and this initiative?
It's all about starting from your small. And that's what we're doing.
And you can say because you've experienced
exactly.
it, you have
so
evidence.
It's all about starting from your small. And we have that. So I tell people that before, by the grace of God, Dangote can see you, you must look like it. So positioning, and I'm here positioning as the founder of Women of Might organization, as much as we look for partnership, brands and governments. So I'm here positioning that with the little we have, most of us donate. With the little we have, let's do this.
And what I'm getting from you, so positioning is not packaging. Positioning is that there's content and I'm preparing and keeping myself ready for bigger opportunities.
Yes, we've been having this. Okay.
Well done, but it's 2 years.
Yes.
And in the 2 years, what would you say? Are there any stories that you'd like to share, positive, that your foundation has positively impacted and that you're proud of?
Yes. We have some women who feels like we have issues of suicide cases. We have, so I'm a mental health advocate, and these are also my strength to help women. So I tell them my stories, I tell them my challenges, and like, okay, I lost my father in a certain stage when I was about to gain admission. I didn't stop there. I know my vision. So when you tell them stories like this, it helps them move. We had cases of those who are not confident enough. We have professional experts because we started from LinkedIn. So brought in experts who can train women on confidence building. We have one of them here already, who is a coach, Ma'am Janice. So she is a coach and she helps these women discover more about themselves. Now we have all of them moderate, anchor programs, and like it's beautiful learning skills. Some of them will never believe they could do things for themselves and are doing things. We have cases where I had to even go pay someone delivered and couldn't have money. We had to donate and help them. So it's just our own way of saying with the little we have, we can also do something.
So are you still on LinkedIn? Because I'm sure somebody watching right now would like to connect with you, get to partner with the Women of Might Foundation. So they look out for you where?
Women of Might on LinkedIn, Facebook, Women of Might Organization.
Fantastic.
And I see you on LinkedIn.
Yes.
So well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wish you all the best on your new
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's
all right,
such a pleasure to be
that's all
here.
we can take on this segment of the show. We'll take a short break, then when we return, we continue with the show. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Which your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7?
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars,
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now. His name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
It's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No. Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I will not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You see some spoils there.
That woman.
Damn!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. Entertainment for pure entertainment. Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, January 15, 1929. The son of a Baptist minister, King received a doctorate degree in theology and in 1955 helped organize the first major protest of the African-American civil rights movement, the successful Montgomery bus boycott. King participated in and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. He advocated civil disobedience and nonviolent opposition against segregation in the South.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Joining us is a dynamic, result-oriented professional with a master's degrees in gender studies and an impressive expertise in tax auditing and public service with a suite of advanced certifications from globally recognized institutions. She is committed to driving inclusive leadership and economic empowerment, particularly among women and youth, breaking barriers, shattering glass ceilings. Welcome with us, beautiful Ebot. Ebot.
I know.
I was going to pause there. I was going to pause there, and you did not prepare me ahead because you are my in-law. I should not be stumbling on an Edo name.
You see?
All right,
I will help you.
Please help.
Ebot Sertale Okolebe.
Ebot Sertale Okolebe. And it's such a beautiful name.
What does it mean? Yeah. Okay, so Ebot Sertale is my first name, which means whatever God says is final.
I have a nephew that is, we call him Bosa. We didn't, I didn't even, and that's his full name.
Yes. You shouldn't shorten it.
Ebot Sertale, yes.
Ebot Sertale, whatever God says is fine. And Okolebe means, that's my surname. It means whatever people say about you, I mean, people will slander you, but it will never kill you.
Oh my goodness, I want your name.
It's a sentence.
The combo, no, it's like what it means.
It's from very
what God says to what people say. Don't say doesn't.
Yeah,
I love it. Your parents, they deserve some kudos.
It's showing.
Yeah. You are a living testimony.
So, but there's a short form. What is the short?
She doesn't like it.
Just say Ebo. That means whatever.
Number two, please don't go there. I don't mind.
I really love your name.
But
since we're talking about names, my son's name is Enai Foge.
Oh,
yes, and my daughter's name is Aima Lohi.
From
your place.
Yes. So what does Ainamoli?
Aima Lohi means as God wants it, as God wills it. And then Enai Foge means the source of this blessing shall never cease.
Oh my goodness. I'm having the chills.
Edo names are just fantastic.
Yes, they are. They really are. But before we go into your interview and before we get to talk about the amazing things that you've done, we'd like to first gist with you. You're supposed to be like our guest co-host, so you're supposed to be like among the ladies of your view, and then you get to do what we do.
Chit-chat with us.
Yes, chit-chat with us. So we're talking about, it's not gossip, it's just that we want to learn from this particular Nollywood star called Ibrahim Chatters, and his reunion with his ex-wife. So Olayinka Solomon is the ex-wife, and her current husband Olasukomi Mabinuri. This sparked reaction online because they met each other. The trio were spot embracing and exchanging pleasantries at the premiere of Tony Abraham's Yalode movie in Lagos. So on today's show, we're going to be analyzing the reasons some former couples enjoy cordial relationships while others can't even see eye to eye. We'll also discuss how to handle situations when your partner is very cordial with your ex. You know, you're married now, and you're seeing your ex, your husband is having such good relationship with the ex. How to avoid, stories that touch the heart, and why some people don't feel comfortable with such level of cordiality. And so you can join that conversation. We have Ebot Sertale joining that conversation as well. You can call us on 02016352013, or you can call us on 09024163440. Now, how would you feel, put you on the spot, if you are in a relationship, the person you're in a relationship with has such cordial relationship with their ex? Would it make you feel uncomfortable, and why would you feel uncomfortable?
No.
Why would not?
First of all, I like money. I'm telling you. So if the relationship is all about, mutual benefits, which has to be financial benefits, please, why not? Go ahead. It's business now. Go ahead. I really don't mind. So I know that, you're my person. You're my person. Nobody's going to take that away from me.
Okay, I don't think that you are on that same... where are you on the spectrum?
It's hard to... These things are very nuanced, right?
Yes.
Human relationships are very complex and intriguing. So it's not a cookie-cutter kind of situation. To a large extent, if I were to break up with an ex and I got into a new relationship, what would determine whether I would still have a relationship? Maybe it has to be very platonic. Maybe very civil. Maybe very civil and diplomatic would be what led to the breakup. I have an ex who I broke up with maybe 5 years. I would never ever speak to him again because there are things that he did that I cannot even say on national TV. Things that cross moral lines, familial lines. It goes very deep. We can't get into it right now. So I would never speak to this person. But I've had exes where you know, the breakups were, it wasn't a case of he cheated or I cheated. There was no violence of any sort. It just didn't work out. And the way the person breaks it to the conversations that were had leading to the moment where the breakup happened is very, very key. However, I believe that if you are in a new relationship, specifically in marriage, by the time you get married to your person, you should know your partner enough to know what they would count as disrespect, right? Yeah. You would know what would serve as triggers for, and you taking yourself into consideration also. If your partner, your current husband, or if my current husband, for instance, was, if I were to see him being very with his ex, how would I feel? So oftentimes we're very quick to consider is that the hug? Are they hug? Is that them hugging? I don't want to believe it.
Yeah, all three of them. Like it's a 3-in-1 hug.
No. This is
okay.
Maybe it's
the husband hugging the husband. The wife hugging.
Maybe it was for show. You know how showbiz is.
No, it could maybe they actually
it could be real. It could be real.
Okay,
it could be real.
No, but that's a point.
It could be real.
That's a point.
Anyway, it depends. It depends on yes. Okay, so it depends.
So from your own point of view, it's nuanced. It depends on how you broke up with that person. That would
how your partner feels about things like that. You have to respect the feelings.
For you,
of your
you're
partner.
not even bothered about yourself. It's about how my partner feels and how we broke up. So it's fine. I get you.
No, I haven't gotten to that part.
Oh, you're still going to go there.
Yes. So like I said, about me, it depends on how the. But I would still create boundaries. Look, you and I know a handshake can easily become a hug, and a hug
can become
a shoulder to cry on can easily become what? Let's not finish the other part. So it's always important to establish boundaries.
People have started.
Boundaries for yourself, boundaries that ensures that the other person understands that this thing, you know, where exes were exes, is going to stay that way for the foreseeable future till this world ends.
Yeah, so they have history together. So they have a son together, and the son is in the US. And so the hug was in appreciation of how well you're taking care of my son who lives with you in the US.
That's
according to the story that we have. So that context is also very important. But Ramatu, how would you? I know you will not be in this situation. None of us pray to be in a situation where we have, but like this. No, this was a marriage. They had a relationship, so the marriage did not, and then maybe that thing happens. But if it were to happen, how would you feel?
Okay, so like now they met in a public place and all. I'm going to first of all, I'm going to ask my new spouse, are you okay with me? You know. Because whatever, I have to make sure that he's comfortable.
First, actually.
Yes, I have to make sure that my spouse is comfortable with the reaction and everything. It couldn't have been a hug. It could be just a handshake, or maybe when he comes close, hello, how are you doing? And it ends, and everybody goes. But this one, they're doing all mushy and everything. I have to really consider the new guy and ask him, are you okay with it? If you're okay with it, then we go on. If you're not okay with it, it's very important that anybody that if you have an ex, if you are married and the person becomes an ex, it's very important to still keep that cordial relationship, especially if you have children involved, so that when there are things that will come up that you need your spouse to help you feeling. Like for example, when you are bringing up kids, there are times that there will be something that a child will do, and you want the father to reprimand the child. So it's very important that you keep that relationship so that you'll be able to call the father and I need you to come in. To come and help with this, come and help us.
But not if that ex was violent and aggressive to the point where your life and the life of your kids were in danger. How about that?
So if he was violent and everything, but that doesn't mean he's not the father to my child.
No, of course not. I know. So if he's a constant threat even to the well-being of the kids, you still allow.
I will.
Yes. When that context plays out, it's important to protect the minors. Yes. So, but I get what Ramatu is saying. Ramatu is saying that in the interest of the children involved, once you have a child with someone,
it changes everything.
No longer think about only yourself or Kafo's law of once it might happen again. You need to ensure that we protect that child. And protecting that child means cordial relationship.
Just
yes, and also sorry before you go on, and also salutation is no love. So you can just greet someone. It doesn't mean that you love the person. So it's just
being polite is not.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for me, I don't know what the big deal is. It's in public. It's before everyone. There's no hanky-panky. This is based on the story. So our context is this hugging that's happening in front of everybody. And for me, I just think that the lesson to learn, first of all, you mentioned it, this person, the ex, hugged the new spouse first. So already there's a relationship that's been happening behind the scenes. And if it was a terrible relationship, trust me, they will not be hugging so closely.
Oh, do you know the backstory?
No, well, I don't know about the. I don't know. Oh, okay. You see, we need context. We need more context because I don't know. What I know is that there are three. What we know based on what was given to us is that exes met in public and they looked like they were cordial, simple, and that's what I saw.
Appreciation,
and it showed an appreciation. Yeah, so it showed that there's a relationship that in the behind the scenes that's working. You know, even if I don't know if maybe the new spouse is the reason for the breakup, you know, of that marriage. Whatever may have happened before, it looks like they have moved past it.
They walked through it.
And yes, or still working through it. But it shows an appreciation for the new partner. There must be something that's happening now that he recognizes that, you know, I appreciate you for that, and that's why that person gives you a hug. After all, nobody would put a gun to your head if you see someone who is toxic to you or your relationship and you don't say hi. Nobody's going to do anything to you. So for me, I think it's a lesson to learn, because there's some people who don't know how to act when they meet exes. And it's not because they feel angry, but it's just that no one has said to them, it's okay to be cordial, it's okay to say hello. So they don't know. So there's that awkwardness. But it's okay to say hello. And then if there's a need for a hug, for me, when you go as far as giving someone a hug, it must mean that there's something special that person has done. Or this person
worry you as the current?
Well, the current is right there. And the current also hugged. So it just means that there's
anything to hear the conversations that happened when they got home. I would give anything to hear.
Well, it seems like Chika has some part of this story that I'm unaware of. Based on what we're looking at, for me, it's just okay. I am married to a man who used to be married, and for me, I believe that the cordiality between my husband and his ex-wife has helped to keep our family together, because he has children from his first marriage who are just the loveliest people and love their brother and sister, my children, very well. They take their time out to spend time with them. They come to visit.
So
and imagine if I and their mom were constantly at loggerheads, I believe strongly it would affect the relationship with the children. But you know, there's respect. We're polite. You know, as long as it is respectful, and as long as there are healthy boundaries that have been laid down, but there's nothing wrong with a hug if it needs a hug. There's nothing wrong with a handshake. What I would not stand for is people who lie to you and say that this person is just a friend or just an ex. Meanwhile, things are happening. It is not that being cordial with your ex is the problem. It's that you in particular are deceitful to your current partner, and you're having all sorts of relationship in the background and covering it up as friendship. Now that is a problem, and that's not the issue.
True. We'll take a break. I love what we've established. We've established the importance to know how they broke up. We've established how to keep cordiality because of children, how to understand the nuances involved. Being polite isn't love, and how sometimes when you get suspicious is because the partner involved is actually being deceitful. When we come back, we'll deal with when you are the partner of you are the new partner in that relationship and you're suspicious of that cordialness. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show. I can go. I can. Yeah, that's all we can take. I choose to close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Ebot, and this one is called Charm. Check it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we have a caller, Onobanjo from Makomojo has been on the phone. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, madam. I'm so excited to be on your show this morning because I'm a first-time caller.
Yay! Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. This topic is really an interesting one. It's really an interesting one, though. But this is my take on this. I must say it. I'm a man, and I must say it. You see, when we say X, X means X. Even if they have separated in a good way or in a bad way, X means X. You should just leave it like that. Men, I'm a man. Men are funny. I'm not saying all of them, though. But in Nigeria, using Nigeria as a context, men are funny. Men, as a man who is no longer with his former wife, now meeting her in a public place, hugging her, doing all sorts of things.
The husband.
They know, he knows her weak point. Anything can get to anything.
Thank you.
I will tell you.
For going there.
Tell you this. This is Africa. Anything, a handshake, well, that's pretty good. You don't need to hug. You don't need to. Okay, he just hugged the former wife. Do you know what is going on in the present husband's mind? You don't know what will go at the back. What we are just seeing, the man is just spending money and all that. Do you know what the man will tell her when he gets home? You don't know. And I will say this, don't get offended because you are ladies. I say it, I tell people that if you get married to somebody who has a kid, I'll say it, I'm a Yoruba person. You are marrying somebody else's wife.
No, not so.
I will tell you, don't get offended with this, please.
It's your view.
Wow. Yes, you are marrying somebody else's wife.
Thank you so much, Onobanjo, for bringing that context. It's your view, and the show is about everybody being able to fully express their view. But Onobanjo's opinion is of a strong one that has a lot of cultural leaning, where people just believe that if a man has had a relationship with someone, there was a reason for that relationship. And so attraction might not necessarily die out, except the person is a really, really horrible person. It might, the sparks can be, the flame, it can be stroked back to life. Yes, stoked back to life. So that consciousness is there. But let me tell you, we did not know the entire story. So there was most of the story that we didn't know. So while we're on break, that's how Chika now went to do some James Bond investigation, FBI moves, and discovered that there are a bit more context that we need to take into cognizance of, like the fact that the divorce was messy. There were allegations of domestic violence and cheating. allegations of domestic violence and cheating on both sides. There were allegations of domestic violence from the husband, that's the Ibrahim, as well as from the ex-wife, and there were also allegations of cheating from the wife to the husband, counter allegation, whichever way. So putting that in your mind, would you say that it's possible to go from that place when it happened to a place where you truly have healed and forgiven and moved on?
I believe that people can do the work. I want to believe that nobody is beyond redemption. I want to believe that people are redeemable. However, the willingness to be redeemed has to start from the individual. So it is very possible that they were both victims of domestic abuse and that they have learned from it. They have taken responsibility for their previous actions. They have done the work. They've gone to therapy. Then the better place. It's very possible. But I don't know what the time frames are because he expressly, according to the article that we read out, had previously expressed the sentiment that the woman, the ex-wife, wasn't a good mother to their son, and now, so I really don't know. I'm not in the private quarters with these people, but let me still, I share the sentiment that boundaries should just stay, because my mom used to say, something you will not eat, don't smell it. I'm not saying be enemies with your ex, especially when things, things are in a good place now. Oh, you can be cordial and civil, but that's as far as it goes, for my own peace of mind, for my own protection, because humans, you can do things that you never envisage yourself doing.
Let me talk to you about
because we hugged in public. Okay.
It's quite interesting. I listen to you amazing ladies. But so I belong to a social club, right? So before I joined the social club, I don't like to hug, right? So even if you want to shake me, I just like, don't shake me, I don't know where your hands have been to. But hugging is actually safer than shaking. Right, because you're shaking the person, there's a direct contact, but then you have your clothes covering you, right? So that aside, I got into the golfing sector or community. Everybody wants good. I'm seeing and there are lots of people there, and then I have to hug everybody. So the fact that I'm hugging them, does that mean I have love or have any intention?
Definitely
no, right? But then I'm looking at the video. The man, the Ibrahim, hugged the husband and the wife. Yeah, it was equally. It was just nothing. And then coming to you, Chika, it's very important that we forgive, right? To move on. Yeah, we have outbreaks, we've had SCs who has, hurt us, and we feel like, I just feel like stabbing this person. We get to that point.
It gets that bad.
Yeah, but with time, and that's why they say time heals all wounds. With time, this thing just go away, and you have to forgive. Not for them.
Forgiveness, but does forgiveness mean that you go back to being how things used to be?
It's just a hug.
So I have nothing against forgiveness.
It's just that to me, that's very harmless. Very, very harmless.
Like that's the word.
So another context to put into this is the fact that I'll come to you. They have a son who is living with the ex-wife and her new husband. And from what we saw online, the son is being well taken care of. So from the look of that hug, is like, I am appreciating this family that are taking care of my son. It's just a case of I'm honoring them and politely hugging them. And I don't think there's anything personally wrong with that. But I know that Ramatu was going to say something, to put into that conversation. And I'd like to hear your own view.
Yeah, so all these hug interpretations, everybody has...
Exactly, that hug alone, everybody has dissected, brought out different meanings. And, but for me, I don't think there should be hug. For me, if we're going to be cordial, it will just be, hello, and then go and sit down. And thank God, my religion, my culture, backs the fact that we can't see each other and start hugging and all of that. Because what if you hug and then when you hug, there are so many things that happen. You start remembering some memories, past memories.
I said it.
Then you hug. Aqua currents.
Because
she's catching
aqua currents.
Yes, in front of me.
Let me take a phone call.
Are touching, you know, and all of that. So, you know, it can spark a lot of things.
They are different. That's what I'm saying.
Let me just take this phone call. And then I'll come back to Akwe current. Because
I'll explain what the current means.
Stay with us. Let me take this call. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me take current to you. You've never hugged a man before. That you hugged him. Next thing, you just felt swellings.
You gave him full hug now.
Okay. Let's be defining the extent of the hug.
It was just a side
hugging and X.
What they did was not a side hug.
It was a hug of I'm so grateful to see you.
Thank you so much.
When happy to see you. When happy to see you. Well, it's not you can, because when you
other body parts might be happy to see the person.
One after the other. Let me hear from her.
From what I would say, given the angle that Ramato has gone, if hugging bothers you that much, you shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
You know, if you just hugging someone and all of a sudden your whole hormones are just haywire.
You can't tell.
Why are you so sure of other people if it's not what happens to you? You can only speak from your own experience because you're never sure of the other person. Now you give a scenario where you hug someone and you feel, well, then never hug the person again. You know, because I know you've hugged many people in your lifetime, and I'm sure that experience does not happen every time that you hug someone.
But it does.
Yes.
Have you sat in a bus just beside someone?
Yes. No, we understand. We know that people can be quite weird. Yeah. We understand that. Yeah. But we're looking at this particular situation here. That was a hug in public. For me, I can understand Ramatu's culture, but at least if you live in Lagos, if you live in the South, even in the North, yes, hugging isn't seen as being too, at least the hugs that we've seen
different
here.
Types of hugs.
Yes, there are different kinds of hugs. And these particular hugs that we saw were friendly hugs. Hugs to greet someone, yes. It was not them holding on to each other
between two X's.
In public.
Yes, in public.
I don't even know why we're still talking about the hugs. Can we move on from the hugs, please? I just wanted to say, because Chitchat was, you know, you mentioned that because of how they went their separate ways, sometimes, you know, you can't see yourself even being cordial with some people. And I understand that because, you know, I've heard many times that people who, while they are going through the divorce, there are different stages to that thing. That usually in the beginning of it, you find that they hate each other so much. Yeah. They would say the worst things about each other, some exaggerated, some just blatant lies. Because at that point, I want to hurt you as much as you hurt me. So I'm not saying that there aren't situations where there was serious physical or abuse, but sometimes also at that stage in the beginning, you just say the worst things about each other. But you know one thing about human beings and just life is that life happens. And then when you are completely away from this person who was toxic to you, who just made you feel the worst, somehow their good sides, you start to see them for who they are. Understand that you're just a human being with your flaws as I am, and I can see you now for your good sides. As long as I don't have to deal with you in my house, I can appreciate you for what you're doing. And then if we even share children, I can appreciate your role in how our children are being raised and you know how they are turning out. And because of that, I give you that respect. It doesn't mean that I love you, I want to get back with you, but I just know that from afar, as exes, I give you the love, I give you the respect. So those sort of things happen in real life. Yeah. Being in a broken relationship is not always about people who just want to kill each other. Sometimes have you heard people who have divorced? Sorry, one last thing. And say, you know what? I messed that relationship up. It was me that messed it up. And because of that, I always respect this person and so
those happen. Let me take Francis. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Mr. Francis.
You see, this kind of discussion, how do I put it? My people say, when you don't get money to drink beer, you go say they bitter. The truth about this thing is, do what works for you. If they're okay with what they have done, then it's about them. I have an ex that, when I wasn't married, she got married and she did not invite me. She did not inform me. And I asked her why. She said, look, it's because I cannot look at you and seeing myself getting married to another person, but it didn't work for us, but I know what I feel for you. So in her own case, she cannot even look at me eyeball to eyeball.
Wow.
If this one people are doing is even hug. Somebody is telling you eyeball to eyeball. If I see you, some miracle will happen. So it's a different thing for different people.
Wow.
Go for what works for you. If it works for them that they can hug and go their way, my dear sisters, please leave it. It's only in Nigeria where even the hug we're talking about. Go to Russia, go to France. They will even want to go as far as doing a lot of things that if it's a typical Igbo man, they carry or put for your head for doing that. You know, I'm just saying, one of our sisters in the studio said her culture will not allow it. Let me tell you, I'm a typical Igbo man. There is how you will hug my wife. I will just be looking at your forehead. I will look at your forehead. That is the way I will be looking at you. I understand what is going on, but if it works for them, they have that maturity to handle the situation. It's how you handle your thing. Then, finally, the individuals involved in this, they can do it. We can feel what we are feeling, that, oh, they have nothing. Like I'm watching the video here, even as I'm looking at it, I feel like drawing, if it's me, I feel like drawing them away, you know. I won't feel comfortable. What I'm saying is, the lady is okay, the two guys are okay, then let's leave them. Do what works for you. If it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't work for me, because me, it will not even work. Me, I don't even want to hear his name. I don't want to hear his name.
Thank you so much. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll take this from the angle of the new partner in the relationship and how they should handle that level of embrace. In what form? Stay with us to be right back.
Let's just show dancing to empower women.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're taking it from the angle of if you find yourself in a relationship with, or you're married to someone and they have a cordial relationship with their ex, how would you, as the new person in that relationship, feel, especially when they have history together, you know, where you meet with your husband, or you're with your boyfriend or with your girlfriend, and the person's having like, you know what happened 20 years ago? Oh my God, 10 years ago that we went to. How are you supposed to relate? How would the person deal with their emotions? How would they manage themselves? I'm going to come to you because I find that just give me your opinion. How would you advise somebody manages that kind of relationship?
So I know popular opinion will be no way. But then let's also be open-minded to say, see, you know, I said something. If my husband and my ex are doing business together, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. Right? That's the question, right? Yeah. I wouldn't mind because I know, okay, you know what?
Sorry, your husband and his ex, for instance.
And your ex. And wait.
And his
my
ex.
husband and his ex, and they are doing business together, I wouldn't mind. You know why?
As you know, it is business only.
Exactly. Thank you. See, it's very important in relationship. Trust, that word trust is very important. You should be able to beat your chest and say, my husband is somewhere, in as much as it can be difficult. We know that stereotype that says that men don't trust men, but there are good men out there. There are men that their yes is their yes and their no is their no. So you know the partner that you're going out with or the partner that you're settling with. So it's very important that, you know, I wouldn't mind. But if I know that my partner is someone that cannot stay without, you know, without his body moving, I will mind though. I would mind. That's why I said know your partner. Okay. Know the person you're in a relationship with or the person you're married to.
Okay, so I beg to differ. As long as you people have been together before, there's no business. With the whole 200 million, how many million Nigerians, you didn't see other people to do business. It's your ex that you want to do business with. It's a no. I will not. No. It's not going to be. Yeah.
See, because I know that they're exes.
You need to realize that you don't need to agree.
Yes. Yeah.
So because the context is that she is not bothered. Yeah. You are bothered. Yeah. Do what works for you. She doesn't work for them. Let me take this call and I come to you, Mariam.
Okay. You don't settle.
Welcome to the show. Good morning. Hello.
Yes, hello. So this scenario, it is strictly exceptional. So it is indeed a controversial one.
Wow.
So it is controversial because it's against many cultures right here in Nigeria. I'm an Ikale man from Ondo State.
Everybody's calling their ethnicity today.
It's an abomination you do that. I'm a Pentecostal Christian. You don't do that according to my faith.
All combined.
Sure, you understand. So it is an exceptional thing, and a very highly controversial thing. So it is an elite thing. And mind you, these guys, they are public figures. Yeah. So what you see on the camera, oftentimes, are not the real thing. So you just see the way they present it and take it like you are watching a movie. That's all.
Thank you so much for that. You know, you mentioned it earlier that maybe they're just acting. Like, let's not show our true colors.
So exactly, and that makes my point. So why act as if we want to kill each other when we can act that like was civil? So that means you even recognize that it could be acting. So that means it means nothing. You know, I think that makes my point even better. You know, that means they're just acting to be civil. Maybe behind closed doors, they really hate each other. But in the public eye, we meet and people don't need to know our business. And they just think that we're cool and we move on and face our lives. You know, for me, a hug is not a problem for me. I don't see it as a huge thing. I haven't yet seen, you know, a hug that has bothered me.
Yeah.
This sort of hug. I'm not talking of a full embrace. I'm talking of regular hug. Now, I was going to say, concerning the things that would bother me, you know, with exes would be, I walk into my house and then I see my partner and an ex by themselves. and I was not aware that there was supposed to be a meeting. Or I hear that, oh, my husband or my spouse was at my ex's, and I did not have any idea about it. So for me, this hug won't bother me. These are the sort of things. I'm trying to be specific. Like, what are the things? Or I hear that there was even a business that happened, but I was never in the know. That will bother me. And what I'm saying here is that as long as there's deception, you know, I would not. That would be crossing boundaries. For me, I believe in trusting your partner and trusting your spouse, but I also believe that you earn it and that you can lose it if you betray it, you know. So sometimes the trust is not always given me. Yes, I may start with trusting you, but if you betray my trust, you will have to earn it back, you know. So I would ask questions. So don't deceive me. If you deceive me, I don't care if it was just a smile because you have betrayed my trust, I will question everything. But usually I will come from a place of trust. I've married you and I believe that we have the same values and we have, you know, and we see life, you know, at least similar. And I would not expect the person that I'm in a relationship with to think that you can go around and mess with an ex and that is fine. You know, so I'll go into a relationship thinking that you think the same way. If I am to go into a relationship with someone that I already know thinks it's okay to cross some boundaries with an ex, then I would not even get into that relationship. So for me, it would be a huge betrayal of trust if you mess with your ex and say to me, you know, I will not understand it was a mistake or things like that. But that I see you just hugging, like the hug that I saw, not a problem.
So, with all these things you have just said now, why can't we just totally avoid it? How do we totally avoid it? It's by everybody staying different.
No, but she mentioned why she can't avoid it, which is because when there's a child involved, to maintain, it's important to take away your own emotions or insecurity for the sake of the child. At every point in time, we need to prioritize the minors and protect the minors. And I know sometimes it might mean that the mature ones on the adults are making huge sacrifice and maybe feel bad about it a few times, but remember that these children they didn't beg to come to this world. You are the one that opted for them. Now that still there's a caveat to it, to the threat of your life. As long as there's no threat to your life, we can continue. We want to go on a break and come back to our interview. We are concluding on this topic right now, but we've said a whole lot and we've agreed to disagree that there is no one-size-fits-all to this situation. We cannot tell you how to relate with your ex, but we can tell you that being cordial and being polite does not mean love, and it's not a license to cheat. You can be cordial and polite in boundaries, within boundaries. Also protect your children, and for the sake of the child involved, maintain a cordial relationship as much as possible. And the final thing is trust. Trust can be earned and trust can be broken, but if they have not broken the trust, give that seed of trust to the person you're in a relationship with. Final. Do what works for you. Whatever we've said works for us. Choose your own. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right.
Would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Check it out.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, but do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym, though, you're getting fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No. Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person that you scissors? What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up.
And so we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned. TVC Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We've had with us the beautiful Ebot Setale, and she joined our conversation earlier, but want to know her. And so we're coming to you. How did you, your CV is rich in experience, academically. What's driving you to study the way you've studied and explore the fields that you've explored so far?
Okay. All right, so first of all, I'm the first child of my family. And you know our parents are with the firstborns. They don't sleep. So with that, I would say my parents' guidance, shout out to my mom and my dad, because they did a fantastic one. So the foundation was there. And, and then I also have this drive. I have 4 lovely younger ones. And I do not want them to, fall or fail. So it's important that I become
responsibility.
Yes, thank you. That's firstborn cross they call. Right. So I do not want them to go into a different part. I'm always intentional about goals, aspiration, and I like to say or refer to myself as jack of all trades because I believe that whatever I put my mind to has to be a success. So I think that's a driving factor for me.
All right, so you do so much with community service. You do women's rights, you do youth empowerment and civic participation. Tell us how you're able to achieve this fine, seamless blend in terms of, being of service. What are the things that appeal to you the most across all of these spectrums?
First of all, I am passionate. I think that's my first love about humanity. First, that's my first love, my passion. Take away tax, take away accounting, take away tech, everything. I mean, I love humanity. I love serving humanity. So, I remember when I was in the university, or I was supposed to gain admission to the university, and my parents really wanted me to study law. I know deep down, I will not couple because in my head, I'm very conscious about time. I'm going to spend like 5 years in the university and then go to law school. I was already thinking of that stress. But then, as God will have it, there's a popular saying that goes down, God proposes, man disposes.
Man proposes, God disposes.
So I just said to myself, please, I didn't get in the first year, second year, let me not just pass this thing well. Because I know something about University of Benin. If you don't get law, if you don't get cut-off mark, they'll get you to another department. So I didn't want to study anything. Anything. I want to study anything but law.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
So they posted me to adult education because I'm trying to give you like a bit.
Okay.
Adult education professional, I didn't know what that was about, but at least I spent 4 years in the university.
You didn't have to do 5 years at law school.
No,
1 year was important.
So I went further to say, okay, you know what? I have a passion for humanity. And we need money to actually impart people, right? So in as much as, oh, I like helping people, I like advocacy, I love, you know, anything people, right? I also need to be a step further in getting something that would give me the money. So I said, okay, first, passion. How do I turn my passion into making money? Thank you, into profit. I said, okay, let me just go into gender studies. I had the master's in gender studies, and look at me, I'm like, hey, God, where am I going to work? Where I want to go to is UN. But then to enter into UN is a lot of, you know, it's a lot. I tried one or two, and I never knew that I was going to go into taxation.
Wow.
So when my offer letter came, I'm like, tax, I don't know anything about maths. Sure, maths was like my worst subject in school, in secondary school. And that's because I didn't like my maths teacher anyways. Right? That's because I didn't like my maths teacher. So I'm like, okay, let me just finish this thing. No, I'm in taxation now, accounting and all. But to cut the long story short, I needed that to also support the society, to give. I needed a job. And then with time, I learned Turk, I learned coding, you know. It was a lot, so I had to, I learned that, so I started, you know, doing here and there, being freelancer, getting teams, you know, and all this actually is just to help humanity, to make sure that, you know, I'm able to send kids to school, you know, make sure that women right, is seen, you know, is see the daylight or broad daylight, right, to make sure that, you know, these teenage girls that are now pregnant, right, or the pregnant teenage girls will have nothing to eat or no food. We call them the lower class, right? Have something. I need to make them understand that education is key. So basically, that's all about.
Okay, so now I understand why your parents said you should read law, because you are still acquiring
right.
and all of that. And I can see plenty certificates here, certificates in this, certificates in that, and all of that. So how were you able to, you know, juggle around these things and actually study? Because look at me, I just said I was doing a course recently, and to read was very hard. So how were you able to, you know, get all this
adulthood responsibility, senior child responsibility, and studying?
How? Adulthood is scam. Adulthood is scam. That song. No. But time management, right? Okay. So first of all, I had what they call the drive, right? I had a goal. I'm target driven. So I said, from age 19 to 23, I wanted to stop modeling. I was formerly a beauty pageant.
How did that miss?
I know, right? So I just said to myself, okay, from 23 to 24, I want to host conferences. From 25 to 30, I wanted to work.
Okay.
So I'm target driven. And then to answer your question on studying, time management too. Because right now I'm working, I have my own business or my own team, and shout out to the Women Mentorship Forum. I have a forum, WMF, Women Mentorship Forum, with the younger girls, you know, to mentor them. So it's a lot. But then time management to me is key.
Yeah.
Nice one.
So, Ebot Setale, I like your name, I'll keep saying it. You know, just listening to you being the firstborn, for me, that also explains that humanitarian side to you, because as a firstborn, I know you take care of everyone, so I can understand where that, you know, came from. And but, you know, when we asked you the first question when we started our hot topic, you started with, I love money.
Yes.
Right? And you've tried to explain why you love money. So you have, and then you're also mentoring young girls. And now we live in a world where there's just so much love for money without really any back, there's no content to make the money, there's no work to make the money, they just want to make money, that's one. Secondly, not to put you on the spot, but, Edo State is known as, where most of the girls who leave the country and go to far-flung countries for different reasons that does not bring dignity to themselves, and really for the love of money. How are you using your mentoring program to teach young women about the need to make money for humanitarian causes or to even take care of yourself without going through ways that would bring so much indignity to yourself or hurt yourself or you end up dead or in jail,
Okay, so this Edo State, God.
It's my state too.
Okay, thank God we're even from the same state.
Where my husband.
All right. Okay, so I think the first thing we should ask ourselves is why are these girls traveling? It's in search of a better life, right? So it is not bad that we as ladies search for a better life. It's how, thank you, it's how we do it. And we also know that it's a man's world. You want to get a job, you want to get a contract, you see a man, telling you, scratch my back, I scratch your back. I know it's hard, it's tough. I tell people, it's tough to be a woman. I tease my colleagues at work and I say, you men, you guys are having it so easy. And they say, why? I'm like, see, you know what we go through from the monthly flows, the monthly pain, period pain. If you experience some, to childbirth, to it's a lot. Hormonal change, Because I was having a conversation with my friend. She said she's turning 50, and then she's feeling a type of weight that is affecting our self-esteem. Because I'm 50, I'm not married. The society expects so much from us, right? But then let's not deviate. Back to your question, right? The Women Mentorship Forum, right, for example, which I'm the founder for, it's just a safe space, right? It's a safe space for younger women to talk to the older ones. This is what I go through in life. We're there to listen. I says, I'm so young anyways.
You are.
I'm very young. If I tell people, even at my 70, I'll tell you, please, I'm coming 18. Sweet 18. So, it's a platform where the younger ones can say to us, you've been through this pace, or we've been through this journey before. How do I navigate? Thank you. And mentorship is interesting, right? But you have to be intentional. If you do not have passion for being a mentor, you cannot mentor. Never. You have to create time. You have to also open your arms and hearts to these younger ones and say, you know what? Truly, when I was 18, I don't know what I want to become. I never figured it out. Right now, I'm still trying to figure my path.
As you go.
Right? Yes. So with time, with space, with opportunity, with experience, you know what you want to do. So it's also important that we also teach our younger ones, our teenage girls, the importance of value and how do you make money, because you can make money without the you can't. So it's important that we keep telling them.
I think it's a very valid conversation, and I'm happy that you're using your own story and creating a community to champion that cause, because we need to have more people see that there's wealth creation outside losing your morals. There's wealth creation in legitimate work. And all you just need is a bit more mentorship and knowledge on that part. Well, I know that you haven't asked her any question.
No, so I just wanted you have to share some stories, because it's always very interesting when when the work that you do has a human face to it that people, it's palpable, that people can see and touch and relate with. Would you like to share any stories or experiences in all your years of, you know?
I wanted to ask her about the pageant. I mean, where are you guys going?
Let's go back. She's a really pretty person. How was it?
Tell us about how
Ma'am, I'm just thinking about the question, true. Thank you for taking on that, because usually pageantry is full of you having to, you know,
deal with all of
stuff, and you're having to put yourself out there. How did you navigate that and still maintain?
And you're such a good-looking person, so
you're taking me to the pageant days. Some memories. Well, I tried as much as possible. Okay, first of all, you have to know you need to know what you stand for. Okay, you just need to know why you're here. What do I want? If you don't know that, then you can get easily swayed. So it's very important that you know. So I knew why I was there. I knew my purpose. I knew my goal. Like I said before, now that I'm title driven. I knew I was not going to stay in the pageant world for a long time. So there's no need now, right? There's no need. But if I'm telling you, I want my first...
But how did you get in there?
Okay, so...
Were you walking down the street and then one photographer saw you and was like, woo, you look...
have the height and the features.
Not really. Okay, so when I was 19, I was still in school then, I saw an advert. My neighbor actually saw an advert, Miss ITV and beauty pageant, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, come attend this thing now. And I'm like, okay, I'm not sure, I don't know, I don't feel like, you know, I'm tall enough at that time now. I'm not so tall, I'm not 6 feet. So I told her, I'm not sure I'm tall enough. I said, no, try it out. And then I bought the form, and boom. I was so surprised though. I won, like based on merit, because it was top 10. After top 10, we had a knockout question. So, you know, okay, I think after top 10 was top 5, then we had a knockout session. That's how I won. So I won my first car at 19. And then since then, thank you. And since then, you know, I went for Miss Nigeria. 2016 came out top 10. I didn't win, no. But it's okay. I had the experience and all. Then I went for Miss Polo International. A bit controversial, you know, because at that point, you know, the organizers, let's just leave it at that.
You understand?
Yes. But then that was like it for me. After that incident, I said, okay, you know what? It's time to retire at 23.
I love that. I love the level of maturity that, and we're out of time. You know, your story shows responsibility, it shows discipline, it shows consistency, and it shows impact. And I really want to celebrate you, Ebosale. Thank you so much for Ebosale. Thank you so much for all that you do for humanity. You know, you started by saying, I want to do this for humanity, but you don't know that just by sharing your story now, especially your story with the pageantry, you've helped somebody to walk away, because you walked away from pageantry and you haven't suffered for it. You've actually been able to move on to other things. And some people feel like, let me just pay the price because of what I want to get. Don't. If there's anything you've learned, there are legitimate ways to make money. Find a mentor, someone who is doing well, that you can walk in there, learn from them, serve and grow from there. Thank you so much again for joining. Thank you, ladies. Tomorrow will be Friday. That's all we can take on the show today. See you tomorrow. Bye.